Welcome back, Money in Motion Mondays. We are shooting another episode here for you guys.
Mhm.
So we got a lot of questions about confidence, and if confidence is something that you could learn, is confidence something that you're born with, or is confidence just comes through
Experience.
experience? So we're here to talk about it. This is
Yeah,
gonna
let's
be
talk about it.
a new segment that we're starting, and it's called "Let's Talk About It." Cause
Because
yeah, let's break
apparently
it
we have
down.
more time.
Yeah, cause we got more time, I guess. So it's still Money Emotion Mondays. We're just gonna do a "Let's Talk About It" segments whenever we
Mhm.
get these questions, and we'll break it down on what we think. So this is all opinion based, with maybe a little bit of facts in there, but we're gonna talk about what we experience or what we think, what worked for us or didn't work for us.
Things that we may still struggle with,
Mm-hmm.
the whole shabam.
And maybe we can help you guys along the way with some confidence tips and tricks that we've tried or haven't tried or we have
Mhm.
seen done. So, uh, yeah, let's jump into it. Um, so obviously we're here for the main conversation being confidence. Something that I feel like I'm always going to be working on it, but I feel like I've reached a point where I'm pretty confident in the things that I do, the things that I
Mhm.
say. Um, and just kind of the way I hold myself, I'm not insecure. So I would say, you know, for myself, that's something that, when I walk into a room, I'm not like shying away or I don't sit in the back. I always like kind of put myself in uncomfortable situations and like sit in the front or, introduce myself, shake people's hands. And that I think in itself, putting myself in hot seats right away is
Yeah.
a great way for me to get either into an uncomfortable situation so that I feel comfortable right away,
Interesting.
which is a weird tactic.
You know what's funny? Because I've always been the opposite. Like,
Really?
I'll sit in the back of the classroom, but I think I was always quick to raise my hand. So I
Ah.
feel like I've always kind of been in a sense, not confident, but I guess not wanting attention on me, you know what
Mhm.
I mean? If
Yeah,
that makes sense?
that does make sense. But do you think that being that way where it's like kind of shy in a little in a way, right? You're shy because 'cause you're
Mhm.
sitting in the back, but you were eager to raise your hand, which takes
Yeah.
a little bit of confidence
Confidence.
to be
Yes,
like, "Hey, I wanna say my answer." Because a lot of people rather just not even raise their hand and give their answer to whatever question or even, like,
exactly.
participate in whatever activity or group they're doing or meeting.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I
I
think
think
that's something that's kinda like, well, maybe. I think a lot of it was kind of instilled in me because I always had, like, this little voice in the back of my ear
Mhm.
saying, like, "You know the answer, raise your hand." But a lot of the times I didn't necessarily and it's weird because I don't wanna say I wasn't confident, I just
Mhm.
didn't want the attention, like, you
Mm.
raise your hand and everyone who's raising their hand, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
That's true.
Even though I know the answer, it's like, "Stop looking at me," like,
Yeah.
I'm just here to do my work.
That's true. You know what? That's funny because, um, I feel like in the beginning, I was that way too, where I used to always sit in the back, or I would sit somewhere in the middle and try
No.
to blend in, because I would trick myself and say, if I sit in the back or I sit in the middle, I don't stick out enough to get called on directly by like a teacher
Mm.
or a person like holding a seminar or something, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But I think now that we have like these things going on, businesses and other things that, we're constantly putting ourselves out there in front of random people and in the camera and posting it to, the public. I think even before then in college as well, I started practicing that I'm gonna sit in the front so that my professor kind of would think or say like, oh, they sit in the front, so they're probably more likely
Care.
to, pay attention and understand the
Mhm.
material or like participate. So
They care more,
yeah.
essentially, yeah.
So I'm gonna call on the people in the back first, and if no one like participates, then I'll call on the people in the front. That's
Mm.
like what I would think. Maybe it was just like my own mind trick and just like you know making myself comfortable in the
Mm.
front. But that's what I would think, honestly. I don't know if there's anyone out there that's ever been in those situations, like a
That kinda
classroom
that makes sense, yeah.
that had that thought process of like justifying sitting in the front. But that
So
was
so then you would say that, like, confidence is more earned, right? Which I would actually kind of agree with in a sense, you know?
partially yes.
Partially.
Partially confidence is earned because you have to put work into getting to a certain point. So like
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think, you know, you're not gonna like say from one day to the next, hey, I'm not confident today, but I really want to be like this person that's really confident, that's in shape, if they're in shape, or someone that you look up to, right? That you want to like live a lifestyle like they have.
Yeah.
All right, let me go to sleep and I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna have exactly what they have. Maybe not fit, but with the mindset. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. So
That's true.
I think, you have to be willing to learn the pieces that create your own style of confidence because confidence looks different for every single person. You know, something that,
True.
or the way that I am confident right now is probably not something that if I took everything that I had and instilled it into David, he's going to be like, oh, I'm now confident because maybe the things that make me feel confident don't make him feel confident,
Mhm.
right?
Facts.
So I think like it's important for you to kind of just start doing the things that you're scared of doing, that you are not confident in doing, or do the things that give you that like I don't want to do that feeling, the things you're
Dude,
shying
yeah.
away of, because I think those are part of the reason that you are not overall confident, right?
Definitely, dude. Yeah, that's so true, man. I remember when we were kids, we used to jump over, like, pools and stuff.
Dude, we did
Dude,
the craziest shit.
we did the craziest shit, yeah, little kid pools or we tell all the homies, "Hey, lay down on the floor, we're gonna jump over," you know? But, you know, how many times did it take for you to go to the ramp, turn around, you're like, "Nah, bro, I'm not ready," you
Dude, we
know?
were scared.
We were scared, right? And it wasn't until we finally took that leap and did the jump where we were able to either eat shit or make it, you know?
Yeah.
But the fact that we did it, we knew, "Oh, shoot, okay, I either landed, now I know I can do it, I'm confident that I can do it,
Mhm.
or I fucked up, I know where I fucked up, and I'm gonna try it again," and then hopefully you make the jump next time, you know?
Yeah. I think that's like a huge factor too though, because we didn't ever feel like,
Scared of anything?
well, we were for sure scared,
Not me.
but I think we didn't let that take the best of us in terms of waiting to feel ready, in
Mhm.
terms of like, all right, I'm not gonna do it until I know I can do it a hundred
Yeah,
percent. Because the reality is you never really know that you can do something 100%. Like,
that's true.
you know, in those moments, like an example that David was saying, when we were kids, we would put a ramp and then put like a kid pool and we would jump over the whole kid pool. But in the moments, we would like stop how he said before the ramp, and then like we would turn around and then we would do it again and stop at the ramp and be like, oh, like we're scared or whatever, which is fair, right? Having fear is part of, the reason why some people don't have certain levels of confidence. But for us, if we let that take over because we thought maybe we can't do this, we would never have done it. But we were
Yeah.
just like, hey, you know what? We're just gonna try it and do it. And like how he said, we'd either fall or half land it or we would fully land it. And because of the outcomes, we realized, well, maybe the first try wasn't perfect. Let's try it again. Then the second try was a little
Mhm.
better, and then the third try was better, and then fourth try, boom, we landed it. Or sometimes on the first try, we would land it first try, and we would be surprised, like, dude, how the heck did we do that on the
Yeah.
first try? And dude, I still remember, like, I'm sure everyone can relate to these adrenaline rushes of when you accomplish something scary or accomplish something that you would never have seen yourself doing for the first time, that adrenaline rush of like, I would have never thought I could do something like this. How the heck did I do it?
Yeah.
And that's part of the process where you're just doing things and obviously not letting the fear overcome, like, and take over. And you
Mhm.
take that leap of faith, you take that risk, and the outcome is a positive push towards moving the needle in the right direction for confidence.
Yeah, definitely. You
And so
know
that was kind of like a great example, right, for us as
yeah.
kids
You
that,
you know what though? Now that I'm thinking about it, we had each other around each other. We were all around to witness it, but we were also there to like push each other, like,
yeah,
hey, you
100%.
can do it, you can do it, you can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which I
that
think
competitiveness for
that
sure.
competitive, yes, exactly. And I think that goes overlooked a lot. Like having these certain people that you are surrounded with could definitely help
Mm,
like build confidence, the same way that, like, before, I wouldn't go to the gym until, like,
yeah,
I started going with you, and then I finally, like, built that confidence, like,
yep,
"Oh, shit, like, I can just go by myself because 'cause
yeah,
I'm getting off of work late," or whatever the case
yep,
is, you know what I mean? With, like, back then, if I didn't get off on time, I'd be like, "Fuck it, bro, like, next time." You know what I
yeah.
mean? So, this goes overlooked a lot also, like,
Mhm,
this is why we always say, like, you are like the same people, the same 5 closest people that you're surrounded by,
mhm,
and I think that's super important because that builds confidence.
mhm.
It's part of the
Yeah.
process.
It shapes your mentality around your thought process, the way you think, the way you move through your days, the way you move through, difficult situations and navigate through life. It's
Mhm,
super important because not realizing how he said the five people that you surround yourself with, or even maybe less, it could be one or two people that you maybe hang around with only,
true, yeah.
is how you're gonna really start moving as well, and the way you're gonna start reacting and um taking action towards things. So, you know, like how he said, using David as an example was in the past, before he started getting more into the gym, we started going together and I was telling him like, dude, you can't just go running. Like running is great form of exercise, but you want to build muscle as well so that like your legs get stronger, your abdomen and things like that. So I started explaining to him. We went to the gym for a little while together and like I showed him like what I do and like different variations, and then how he said eventually now, he goes on his own. Like if I don't go in the morning and he's going like early, he gets off work at a certain time, whatever the case is, he feels that confidence of, all right, I've gone to the gym, I feel comfortable going in and working out, because that is real. Like some people don't realize this, and maybe
Mhm.
some of you guys have never gone that, but I went through the same thing when I first started going to the gym a while back. Was the first time I went, because I didn't know what I was doing and I was much skinnier, I was almost like, I guess like a mixture of embarrassment, but also like kind of like, well, I guess not confident
Not
in, like,
confident.
because I didn't know what I was doing. One, I was like, I don't even know if I'm doing this exercise right, if I look weird, if my form's right or wrong. You know, I was thinking of if people are staring at me, if like I'm even getting a proper workout, if I am I doing the right sets, like those are all things that are going in my head in the beginning. And before I would go into the gym, like every single session, I would think about like, dang, dude, like I should just probably not work out. Like I'm gonna just go at home, like go for a run or do a workout at home, with no like with minimal weights and exercises, which at home workouts are great, but you are like restricted
Yeah,
with
depending
it,
on what kind of equipment you have, you're
yeah,
definitely
and the
super
type of
restricted.
workouts you want to do. But
Yeah.
those are things that like people actually think about, and this is replicated in different aspects of people's lives. Some people are scared to go into grocery stores. They're nervous
Dude.
of like,
Yeah.
I don't even want to stand in line. I'm gonna like, they get nervous in like high pressure situations.
Mhm.
That's part of like the confidence as well, right? um so I would just say, like it comes before the confidence feeling comes through the action, and then you get the outcome of feeling confident, right? You're never gonna
Mhm.
feel confident before doing something that you've never done.
Right.
Um,
It's like small wins lead up to then being
exactly.
confident.
Compounded wins
Yeah.
is what starts building on it, right? So it's like those are things you guys want to think about when you're going through this journey of trying to find your confident level or trying to build your confidence. Or if you're already a confident person, there's always ways to become even more confident. Someone that is moving through
Definitely.
life, kind of like on autopilot mode, essentially, where it's so natural to you, or that's just who you are 24/7, right? I feel like
Mhm.
sometimes for myself, I have to like turn it on and then like you realize, okay, like I'm in this situation, I gotta like, bring this side out of me. There's other times where I realize like, oh dude, I completely missed that opportunity. Like I was a little shy or like whatever.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I want to get to the point where no matter what situation I'm in, no matter what I'm doing every single day at all times, like I'm the max level that I can be. And it just comes with time and practice and like really analyzing and being truthful to yourself as to where do I lack and where can I improve and what am I really good at already, you
Right.
know? Um, so like super important, yeah.
You know,
Um,
it's funny, actually, I had like a little moment yesterday at the gym. I was doing the leg press and I was doing I was hitting 2 plates, and I was like feeling good.
mhm.
And this fucking guy that was on the leg press next to
Oh, dude,
me,
I hate this shit when it happens.
dude, this guy already had like 4 plates going, and then he just came up to me. He's like, "Hey, can I get those plates, the extra ones that were down there?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, go ahead, bro." This dude took all of them. So this dude's hitting like not even joking 10 plates, right?
Shit's
And
crazy.
I literally sat there and I had a moment like, "Fuck, dude, like 3 plates ain't shit." But then I had to bring it back to like, okay, think about where you were 2 months ago, right? Fucking no plates.
Dude, this guy was leg pressing like a plate and like 35 or like two plates, but struggling. I remember.
Struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. So I literally every time I feel like a slight sense of like me not being confident, I always like a I guess like a tip for you guys, look back at where you were
Mm-hmm.
when you first started, and that shit'll give you a fucking confidence boost like
Hell yeah.
crazy. Cause then you're just like, oh shit, dude, like, yeah, maybe I'm not there yet. And I don't know if I would ever want to be at that many places. But
It's crazy.
I've gone from 1 plate to 2 plates to 3 plates and now 4 plates where it's like, damn, cool. Like
Dude, I know this guy's hitting four plates and I'm like, God damn.
it's a cool progression. And yeah, that shit, those little, like you said, the compound wins just fucking build that confidence without
Mm-hmm.
even realizing it.
Yep. It's subconscious too because it's all that positive affirmation that you feed yourself, right? Like it's super.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys ever heard this, but like all the negative thoughts you feed yourself, your brain
Mhm.
also compound, right? So if you're constantly beating yourself up over like a mistake you made, something that you messed up, or a relationship you ruined, or an opportunity you missed, or something you didn't do, you didn't go to the gym, like anything that you feed your mind every single day, every single week, every single month, think about that. Those things are compounding, 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 and then you realize why you're depressed. Or some people don't even realize why they're depressed, but it's like
Mm,
this whole month,
yeah,
this whole week, the whole day, you were beating yourself up over things that, yes, maybe you could control, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say you can't control those things because there's a lot of things that we can control and there's some things you can't. Like, that's just life. But
definitely.
it's the way you pivot, you adapt, and you take on those adversities in your life, and you turn it into a positive, right? Like it's not easy. I'm not gonna sit here either and say, hey, yeah, like when you get broken up with or you something happens to you, I'm not gonna sit here and say, yeah, it's easy to get over those things because we all know it's all not easy to get over, right? Like there is things that are easier and than others, but
Yeah,
when it's those hard things, those are the ones that really, hinder us and like create these like pockets of depression or pockets of like low self-esteem.
definitely.
But I think when you condition yourself over time, over and over and over and over, and you build like, how do I say it? Like new levels of like lows essentially, in lacks of better terms,
Yeah, yeah.
is like maybe your first initial low when you first started
You
your
have
journey,
like
you
a
were
new
down here.
you have a new achievement you're looking
Yeah,
for.
then you reach this gap here. And so then the next time that you feel like you're getting depressed or you're feeling low confidence, you drop a little bit, but you're not dropping down here. Then you
Yes.
move up here, and then this is your new low. So if you go through something, you fall here, and then you move it up, right? And then you keep going. And so you're never going to stop going and feeling these little pockets of whatever, like low self esteem, like doubt, um, depression. But I think through reps and time and compounding, um like these skills, it'll be easier for sure to navigate through feelings and emotions and the way you react to things for sure, which ultimately affects your outcome of, do I feel confident
Yeah,
in the
100%.
way I'm going to overcome this, or if am I not, because I don't know how I'm going to react or feel, right? So
Mhm.
those are things I feel like people don't think about, right? Like they think, hey, I completely took an L today, or this whole month just completely kicked my ass. Life just was lifing, and
Yeah.
they go like this and they just crash and burn, and they completely like dismantle the progress that they had
Mhm.
in the last 5 years,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
But I think, and it sometimes it happens, like it is what it is, but if you are ever going through those moments, I think it's important to realize how he said, going back to what he said, is look back at the progress that you made when you're going through those tough times and realize I've come from literally down here. I'm up
Yeah.
here. I feel like I'm down here right now, but that's okay. Being okay with, those moments is what's going to help you go from this to go back up,
Yeah,
right?
straight up,
At
dude.
least a little bit faster, in my opinions.
100%, yeah.
So,
That actually reminds me of a fucking per my one of my favorite, like, sayings. You have 2 wolves in a room. One room is lit up and one room is dark. Which one lives?
oh, shoot. The dark one. Nah.
Depressed ass,
Nah.
dude.
I be on that demon mode.
That's crazy.
Nah.
So, it's the one you feed. Going back to what you were saying.
Oh shit. I didn't even think about that, honestly.
Yeah,
Damn.
so it's essentially the same thing, right? If you have these 2 demons that you're battling, once in the light, once in the dark, whichever one the you're gonna feed your energy towards, that's what you're gonna get.
Damn. That's a bar right
That
there. All right, we can end the podcast here. Thank you guys for just like um yeah, I think in like, to add on to that, like something that I've learned in the process of, you know, building my confidence, learning myself in public speaking, the way I hold myself, the way I dress, the way you know, learning myself, who my true self is obviously like helping like build self-esteem and help you build confidence all in one. But in the past, when I used to try to do these things, I was seeking validation from everyone else. I was like, okay, I'm going to do these things, but I want people to notice and I
Mm,
want people to tell me, hey, that's super cool what you're doing. Hey, nice haircut. Hey, like that's a fresh fit. Or, hey, like nice car. I was doing everything for myself, but with the wrong intentions. It was
yeah.
for me to feed other people's energy of validation towards myself.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
And so, yes, certain things were making me happy, but happy to an extent of I needed someone to tell me that what I was doing, what I was buying, what I was getting was noticeable. Something that was like, hey, like that's cool. I noticed you got that. Like, and that's the
Yeah.
validation that kills, right? Like
Yeah,
that
definitely.
validation is not healthy. Um, and it wasn't until like I think probably, I don't know, like 19 or 20, maybe like, yeah, I would say like 20 years old, 21 years old. When I started realizing like, dude, I'm doing shit for the wrong reasons. Like,
Mhm.
you know, I need to do things for myself. And it partially was for myself, but I need to start doing it with not caring for a reaction, not caring for someone's input. Because then sometimes like I would do something and then someone would say, "Oh, like I don't really like it." And I was like, I valued their opinion. And because they didn't like it or they didn't care for it, it made me feel like, oh, I got this for no reason, you know?
Damn, that's crazy. You
Um,
know what though? I think that's like a very young person mindset
for
though.
sure, 100%.
It,
Yeah.
it goes back to like when we were kids, like we were kind of show offs.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we'd do like yes and no. We would like with the whole ramp jumping over the pools, you know, like a lot of the times we would wait till somebody was walking by, you know, like Appa
Yeah.
walking across the street just
Hell
to
yeah.
do it, you know what I
Yep.
mean? And it would like who knows, you know, like they probably didn't care or
Dude, they
whatever.
probably didn't even see the jump.
Yeah. Like why they have an empty pool out here,
Yeah.
retards?
Yeah, but I think like that was a turning point for myself
That's
where
crazy.
I finally was just like, you know what? I'm over like I don't care for this. And it took practice. Like I would literally, do the mental reps of if I caught myself thinking like I value that opinion, I would literally tell myself, fuck what everyone thinks. Literally, like that was like, man, I don't care what anyone thinks. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, who cares? Who
Mhm.
cares what the person in front of me, next to me, behind me is thinking of what I am doing, what I'm buying, how I look, how I dress, what I spend my money on? Like, I don't care. And literally, like, not even joking, it was thankfully happened very quickly for me because that was truly deep down inside who I was all along. Like I was doing things slightly already of like without those intentions. So when I really tapped into it, for me, it took maybe like not even joking, like 3 or 4 months to really just get to the point where I was like, dang, like I feel way better, like not caring about people's
It's like
opinions.
a weight lifted off of your
Yeah, I
shoulders.
felt so good and like I just told myself I would never go back to, you know, letting people's opinions or, things of me control like what I do.
Yeah.
It's either I'm going to do what I want to be doing that makes me happy and respectfully to those people out there like if you're offended, if you feel some way, if you don't align with those things, like it is what it is, like I'm not going to live a separate life for those people. I'm gonna surround
Mhm.
myself with people that are just like me, because those are the people that I want to be around anyways. So
Definitely.
once I understood that and then realized I have people like David around me and like other friends that have the same types of beliefs, then it was so easy for me to feel a huge confident boost and like weight lifted off my shoulders to say
Mhm.
I could be me now,
Yeah, yeah.
you
No,
know,
definitely.
without like repercussions of feeling like I'm gonna offend someone.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, dude, because that's a that's a bear trap, dude. Like,
Yeah,
without
dude.
even realizing it, I think because I've never personally I kind of never this sounds horrible, but I've never really given a fuck about like other people other than like the people I really like care about, you know? That's kind of who I would like look for validation from, like more of my family. But with with what you were saying, confidence a lot of confidence comes from just like not caring about what anyone else really thinks, you know? It's like,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, I did this and I've accomplished this, you know? Like nobody's fucking clapping for me and I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
I'm clapping for myself at the end of the day, right?
Mhm.
And or again, like you're saying, like people like you that are by my side, like, dude, I saw you did that. Good shit. You know what I
Hell
mean?
yeah.
Like, and that's where I think that that's like the best level of confidence that you can have because at that point, if you don't have anybody, you're rooting for yourself. And
Yup.
dude, that level, being able to get to your accomplishments at that level is fucking great.
Mhm.
Super fucking great.
Yeah, dude, honestly, you're right though. I think when you really, you know, surround yourself, like how you were saying, and root for yourself and feed yourself those positive affirmations, that's when, or even other people, right? Surrounding yourself with those people that are going to support you, really want to see you win,
Hmm.
is when you really start seeing major changes in your life, I would say, for sure. I think, you know,
Yeah.
in the last 2.5-ish years, I would say now, or maybe even what, 3 years since we like started the business ventures. Is it like 3 years almost?
Pretty much
Pretty
3
much
years,
three
yeah.
years. Um, we
Damn.
dude, like
Yeah. Holy smokes.
I would have never felt confident or comfortable being in front of a camera.
Same.
Never posted as much as I post now on like social media, whether it's like my personal account. Like I'm still working on like getting more like figuring out my content style for my personal page, but I for sure am not like shy to post on there. Like I'll post videos of myself now for sure on there, but I just want to figure out like my content style. But on our podcast Instagram, we post a bunch of reels and we're in it. Like it's
Mhm.
close up videos of our faces and things we're saying and doing. I'm not shy or embarrassed about what we, the things we're going through or saying and things like that. On our YouTubes, right? Like we post this long format podcast on YouTube and then also our vlog page of things of like us just being
All the
us,
dumbest
right?
shit.
The shit how we act, you know?
Yeah.
So I would have never thought I would be doing any of those things. Oh, and on top of that, the brand, right? Like we
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
have to get uncomfortable modeling for the brand. We do like videos, close-ups, action shots.
Mhm.
Uh we have to go and meet with vendors and like put ourselves in front of like these situations where we got to be professional and like talk a certain way.
Yeah.
And dude, 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, I would have never seen myself doing
Yeah.
even a quarter of this, not even like a fourth of like nothing, like none of this stuff. And so the fact that we've come this far, I know it's because, everything that we've said until now and through this podcast is, the confidence building part where it's surrounding yourself with people doing the reps, right? Like
Yep.
in the
Taking
very
action.
beginning, we didn't know what the heck we were doing, but we weren't shy to ask like questions, right? Look for answers. When we would walk into a
Mhm.
building of like a manufacturer or somewhere down in downtown LA where we were like, oh, well, we're looking for this. Do you know this? You know where we can get this? Like people were pretty nice for the most part and gave us like a better understanding and kind of gave us free game sometimes. And,
Yeah.
taking that for it was, we eventually were able to, you know, stack that onto our knowledge and to the way we feel in that realm of, certain things, right? Uh, and now I would say we are pretty confident in the fashion or like the clothing brand industry where there's still things we have to learn and we're still working on, but for the most part, going through all those things and being forced to, hey, we want to see this vision and this brand come to life, we have to do X, Y, and Z
Yes.
in order to make this come to life,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
you
And a
know,
lot of it was kinda just not even an option,
mm-hmm,
we started, like you said, going to these manufacturers. We didn't know who was gonna go for us. Fucking nobody.
Casper. Yeah.
We didn't have money to pay for models. We didn't have an option. We literally forced ourselves to do these things, and being
Mm-hmm.
in front of the camera, who the fuck was gonna talk for us in our first video? You know what I mean? Who
Dude, we were so awkward in that first video, and it was funny because we thought we were the smoothest talking people in that first video. We were like, "Damn, that was a sick video," but that's part of like being happy and confident with, even though we weren't at
Yeah.
that level
Yes.
because it was our first video.
Yeah,
How he was
super
saying,
underdeveloped, dude. We
we
were
we
infants.
were super excited about it, and that didn't let us bring ourselves down. We were just like, "That was
Correct.
sick. Let's do it
Correct.
again."
Yeah. Yeah, dude, the way my Instagram used to be, it was literally just my car, dude. Like, I
Yeah.
never had a single photo of myself ever.
Ran a faceless brand on there, a
Basically, it
faceless
was
car
literally a
brand.
faceless car brand.
Yeah,
And
which was dope, bro. Like it's cool because he knows what it feels like to have a page that has like a pretty good amount of following. At the time, you had like about 25 or like 30K
like
followers, right?
it's 28, yeah.
Like 28K followers, and he had not once posted a picture of himself, right? But you know, to make it correlate with confidence, right? Like you editing and becoming good at a certain skill, you know, gave you that ability to post and continuously like take pictures and do those things because of the
Mhm.
feedback you're getting from your audience was like, dude, these are sick ass videos. Like people were affirming
Yes.
that, hey,
Yeah,
what you're posting is sick. We don't care who's running the page.
it's true.
What you're doing and your skills behind it is dope,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I think if I didn't have the confidence within, like, doing social media and just stuff like that in general, I wouldn't have been able to transition from, like, then car content to just strictly, like, more like completely 360, like, motivational workout, run videos,
Hmm.
like, I had a little point where I had even asked you, I was like, "Bro, like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this." Like, I almost was gonna start just a whole new page because I was like, "Dude, this is
Well, you
weird."
did. Remember you started your other one and then you had to change your
Oh,
names?
yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Essentially, I did, yeah. So I
Yeah.
I had, like, my private one for just, like, real friends and just some family, but yeah, if I wasn't confident enough to make that transition, dude, that page would just be there,
Hmm.
sitting there in the fucking
Yeah.
shadow realm, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I remember telling you too about that page, dude. It was sitting there for a while and he was losing followers
like 2
because he
years,
like
dude.
wasn't posting anymore and people thought like
They
he
thought I
got
died.
abducted and went to Mars. And I remember telling him we were figuring out like, all right, we gotta start posting on our personal brand page or like our personal pages to help the brand as well, right? Like the more
Yeah.
outlets we're posting on, the better, right? More eyeballs and we funnel into greater than athletics and the podcast. So I had told him, I was like, dude, just start posting on your David page again, your car page. And he was like super skeptical on it because I think he had done one post before and he got like no
Dude.
interactions. And I know for
0.
sure he was like a little discouraged. Like he wasn't
0.
used to seeing those numbers. He was used to seeing like thousands of likes and comments and things like that. And so when that
Yeah.
happened, he was in shock a little bit, like, dang, I didn't expect that. So
Mhm.
I remember him telling me, like, dude, I don't think I should like post on here. Like people are not gonna transition like from the car content to the my personal page content. And I remember we were sitting down and we were like figuring out, all right, what are we gonna be posting and stuff. And I told this guy, I was like, dude, who cares? Like, just post. The people that are gonna want to be a part of like the journey are gonna stay, and the people that are not are gonna just unfollow you.
Yeah.
At least you have like an X amount of starting point. Like, yeah, sure, you
Mhm.
may lose, but you might go from here to here, but you started down here, right?
Yeah,
And
straight
so
up,
it's better
straight
than
up.
starting with a brand new page and sometimes it is okay to start with a brand new page. Like that's fine, but
Mhm.
you know, he already had a huge following on it. Might as well like see what it can take you. And look at now, like I think he's hit a point where people realize, all right, he's transitioned, and I think you started gaining followers now too, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
still losing a lot, but I'm gaining enough to keep it, like, well balanced.
yeah,
But I think that's a perfect example to, like, even what you mentioned earlier where, like, it's a kind of like a roller coaster, right? Where, like, yeah, like, maybe you're up here and you may fall down a little bit, but now you know that you have the confidence to at least go back up to where you were,
mm-hmm.
and essentially that's where I fallen in that fucking
Yep.
in the social media, like, world, which is interesting. But, yeah, I mean, it's dude, man, confidence so important. Super important. It's not
Mm-hmm.
only gonna help you with just real life situations, but you're gonna find out a lot about yourself in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna take you a lot further than what you would expect.
Mm-hmm.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Yeah. And like all in all, it's not just gonna be something that's gonna come from one day to the next.
No way.
We're not here saying, hey, if you do the things that we did, if you take everything that we just said and apply it into your day-to-day life, you're gonna become confident because there's a very big possibility that you may not. I think it's just important that you stay true to yourself. You do the things that you want to be doing and enjoy doing and are happy doing. You build through repetition, right? Put yourself in uncomfortable situations. You analyze your current standing points in like public speaking or things that make you nervous, you're not comfortable doing, and start doing those things slowly, right? Speaking up, you know? A lot of
Yeah.
people stay quiet a lot of the times when you know, they're in a room full of people, right? They have a question. They rather just stay quiet instead of asking the question, right? Instead of staying quiet the next time you're in this situation, ask the question, even if you think it's a dumb question, right? Sure, you guys have heard this saying so many times by teachers or people in your lives is there's no such thing as a dumb question, which I really believe there's no such thing as a dumb question. I even use this now as a manager and people that a person that trains people for essentially work is I tell them all the time, dude, ask me a million questions if you need to ask me a million questions because the only way I'm going to feel confident and trust you in doing what you can do or what you're getting paid to do, right? Is by you knowing that you're asking me the right questions or asking me even just the wrong, like, I guess, wrong questions or a repetitive question
Right.
in the moment, in the time that you're learning, so that I know, hey, we've gone through this. He knows this now. And when it's time to let him go or her go on their own, I know, hey, yeah, I've taught them that they know how to do it at an efficient level and I can trust them, right?
Mhm.
Versus them not asking me the questions, assuming they're doing the work and doing it wrong.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
about those things the next time you're in those situations. You don't need the validation. Who cares what people think? Put yourself in uncomfortable situations, figure out your weak points, and work on those slowly. It's going to take time. It may take 1 month, 5 months, a year, 5 years, but the point of this is to have progress.
Yes.
Small progress is great progress. And as you grow and as you compound it, eventually you're going to look back and realize I couldn't even speak in front of 5 people, or I couldn't even speak in front of 2 people. I would get nervous. I couldn't even go to the grocery store, or I couldn't even like do a workout out in public because I was too nervous or scared to. And now I can do all those things at a slightly bigger level.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Yeah, you gotta start doing more, taking more action and stop
mhm.
overthinking shit so much.
Yeah, super important. Like, can't stress that enough. If I had to like pinpoint the biggest thing that really helped launch my journey was just shifting that mindset of starting small, right? Like small steps are and small wins are important and
Yeah.
are huge and are impactful versus seeing like a small win as it's not important, like it doesn't really matter. It didn't do anything for me. I don't feel any different. Is you really have to feel and acknowledge everything that's going on, good and bad, and understand the things that you're going through and be honest with yourself as well. You can't live in a life or a world of denial and be scared to be true to yourself and say, hey, like, I don't believe in that, that's not me, or I can't feel those things, or you know I'm not open to failure, like that's unrealistic. So completely throw those things out of your life and realize everyone is open to feeling everything, every emotion, every possibility.
Yeah.
And once you master that, I think you really elevate it for
Yeah,
sure,
dude. I agree
100%.
100% with you, man. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think all in all, that's how we would say, like, in the let's talk about it, confidence. That's us talking
Yeah.
about confidence and what we think built confidence and what we think helped us in our lives, in our journeys, elevate ourselves. Some of the things that worked for me, some of the things that worked for David, and any key takeaways you want to kind of wrap up with?
All I gonna say is, guys, it's never gonna be easy. We're 2 years into doing all of this, which is we're still fairly new, and honestly, I don't think I've ever been this confident in my life doing anything. Like, doing all this, now I'm confident with literally anything that I do,
Mm,
and that's why every time I tell someone to start doing something, I literally tell so many people that, like, just start, because that starting point is
yup,
your journey to become confident,
yup.
and that's just gonna reflect in everything else that you do. So
Yeah,
Imma leave you guys with that.
mic drop. No, yeah, that's 100%. I agree. And so we'll leave you guys with that. Hopefully, this Let's Talk About It segment is something that you guys like. Please let us know in the comments. Let us know on the post, on the YouTube, on the Instagram. If you guys like these little breakdowns of the Let's Talk About It, segments.
Mhm.
And if you guys do, we'll continue going through them. We'll break down the general topics that we kind of go through, um, or other topics that you guys have, and we can dive a little bit deeper as to what we think, more opinion based, I guess,
Yeah.
topics.
Yeah, this was
Uh,
fun, dude.
I think it was cool.
That's pretty
Gives us a
cool.
little chance to kind of flow free and go off the script a little
Yeah.
bit, even though we don't really have a script. We
I
just
know,
kind
I was about to say, where's
of
the script at?
I was like, we just kind of, free game it. But yeah, this was Money Emotion Monday podcast with the Let's Talk About It segment. And if you enjoy these things, let us know. Don't forget, like, comment, share. And if you're struggling with confidence, hopefully the things that we covered today helps you get an idea of where to start.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
also, just remember you're not alone in this journey. There's other people that have gone through this. There's people that are currently
Yeah.
going through it, or there's people that are still trying to figure out how to even start.
100%.
So if you're in any of those categories, you're not alone. Comment your story or comment something that you're struggling with, and maybe we can give you some pointers on in the comments and help you out with it.
Yeah.
But with that being said, Money
Sheesh.
Emotion Monday. Stay tuned and we'll catch you guys. Peace.